Hey, Shalom, Makim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, this is a lesson through the Spirit. This was an article that was sent to me through the Spirit. It goes into a solar storm that could spark northern lights to hit Earth today. This article came out actually today. Well, actually yesterday, because today is the 3rd of February. This came out February 2nd. And it goes into solar storms, which can possibly cause grid outages. And we know what happens in a time of power outs and blackouts. You have economic downturns. You have mass rioting, chaos, looting and robbery, pillaging, and all sorts of turmoil and insurrections that will happen to the point the military will be involved to bring what they call order to our destabilized society. Okay, and this is where we're heading to through the Spirit any day now. But I'm gonna read the article. It says a solar storm is heading towards Earth that could potentially cause wars. It says auroras in the north part of, or in the parts of North America, which is America, Babylon the Great. At the same time, too, we know that Esau has technology that can disrupt certain cosmic activities in the heavens. You know, like he have the program called HARP, which he lied and said which was discontinued. But we believe that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? We understand that these storms and geostorms, like it was a movie called Geostorm that came out a few years back, is actually pretty good. It shows you how Esau was using satellite technology and imagery to cause these particular storms and snowstorms and tsunamis and solar flares on different parts of the world. So whatever they do, they put it in a movie usually or in some type of program, you know, to show the masses of the people subconsciously what's happening. And this is their way of playing prophets on the left-hand side. That's their way of showing them being prophets on the left, because they are prophets. They're just prophets on the left-hand side of Baal, because he puts his predictions in his movies because they're already planned out. Like with the whole Simpsons thing, you got people say, wow, the Simpsons predicted that. Well, no, the Simpsons didn't predict anything. Okay, they have they're juiced in. Okay, this guy Matt Groening is a high-level Freemason, so they're going off a script. So when you see things about the Twin Tower bombings and the Columbine shootings and President Donald Trump being in fruition 15 years before it come to pass, it's simply because they already know about it, because it's written within the script. Okay, so you gotta learn how to dissimulate between the two. But anyway, it says the geomagnetic storm is expected to occur today, Wednesday, after the sun is released in the coronal mass ejection, which stands for CME, on January 29th, and a vast exposure of energetic material that has been traveling towards Earth at over 400 miles per hour per second since then. And it makes sense as to why they probably brought this storm. You know, he probably did something to disrupt the natural cycle of things. And what happened was he probably brought this storm to try to neutralize it, to bring more confusion. Because when these particular particles and elements mix, they become very toxic. Okay. Honestly, like right now, he's poisoning the air to the point like we're suffering from induced metals in our bodies because we're breathing and inhaling these things. So honestly, I'm not even knocking people for wearing masks, and they're not wearing a mask, you know, not for the C19, of course, but it's just because Esau is ejecting this shit in the atmosphere, and you can feel it. Like, you know, we are real being poisoned, you know, and I can feel the metals in my body. I can literally feel it. It's like almost a sinus infection feeling, you know, which a lot of times that can be the case due to the different poisons they're pumping in the atmosphere, you know. Plus, I got real bad allergies anyway.
When you have wall-to-wall Wi-Fi throughout your whole home, you can use it everywhere. Yes, even there.
Shut up. I don't know how the hell you got on my screen.
Get Cox Internet.
Anyway, Salakia. It says the CMM is expected to arrive on February 2nd, 2022, and may have already done so at the time of the writing. But it says CMEs are not especially rare, but their frequency varies depending on the sun's 11-year cycle. But at a minimum, they're observed about once per week. But however, they don't always end up being directed towards Earth. Like this is a fucking satellite weapon they're using, you know. And they showed you that in the movie GoldenEye. It's called it's a James Bond movie that came out in the early 90s, mid 90s, with the guy Pierce Brosnan starting Bond. Basically, he was on a task. It was post civil, no, cold. It was the Soviet War area, post Cold War area, when Bond had to pretty much infiltrate this Russian facility to find out about chemical weapons and imagery of this satellite that they was going to use to topple dictatorships and regimes, and etc. Pretty dope movie. It's pretty good. You know, actually one of my favorite movies. But anyway, it says while their CMEs have the potential to impact the Earth's magnetic field, since CMEs themselves carry magnetic fields from the sun. All right, but it says the impact of the Earth's magnetic field could cause more intense auroras around than usual, but also wreak havoc on electrical systems, navigation, and spacecraft if the CAM is coming strong enough. But the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Space Weather Prediction Center released an alert on January 31st, warning that a geomagnetic storm was predicted to occur from Wednesday to Thursday this week and probably reach the strongest point on Wednesday. Well, I mean, right now it's just brick cold outside, and, you know, we really wouldn't know what's going on up there. But hey, who's to say that Esau is not, you know, doing his bidding? Because it's probably the reason why it's probably negative 30 outside. And I'm exaggerating because it's not that cold, but it's pretty damn cold. All right. But it says the storm was predicted to potentially be a G2 or moderate level storm. But during a storm this strength, power systems at high altitude or high latitudes may experience voltage alarms. Spacecraft's ground control teams may need to take corrective action regarding orientation. High frequency radios can fade at higher latitudes, and auroras may be seen low as New York and Idaho. Okay. But it says, however, in its most recent alert, the SWPC stated that the potential impacts of Wednesday's storms specifically may include the weak power grid fluctuations and aurora visibles at high latitudes, such as Canada and Alaska. Okay. So Esau Edom is doing something, man, you know, and through the spirit, this is part of the signs, as it tell you in the scripture. So this is the book of Romans 13. Come on, damn app. Here we go. This is Romans 13, and I'm going to start at verses 11. It says, and that knowing the time, now it is high time to wake up out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. Okay, so right now, these are different signs that the end is coming. So we can expect more storms, crazy inclement weather. And when this winter breaks, hey, you'd expect a high-level tornadoes, man. You know, going into tornado season, which is roughly March all the way up until like June in certain parts. You know, usually at the end of February, March, the weather breaks. But who knows what Esau is going to do. All right, because on some for real stuff, I don't think that he's made people suffer enough during his dark winter. You know, I believe that he's got something up his sleeve. So either this or it's going to be some other shit that's going to happen. Some type of mass attack or something is going to happen that's going to get the people to pretty much bow to his image. Okay. And soon to be that MARK. Something is going to happen, because this is to say we have mass blackouts and outages. You can have an economic collapse. And honestly, the economy, shit, all hell can break loose right now. You know, peace and safety and sudden destruction. We cool, like I'm doing a show right now. Hey, we can get an alert on our phones that a city has been invaded, pocket nuke went off, the grids, anything can happen. Power can just be cut right now. And honestly, this would be a perfect time to do it, because it's cold as hell out here. How much more, shit, people can suffer. I mean, how much more people can suffer in this shit. So, you know, if he's going to be a devil, he'd been better off doing it now. You know, because his whole thing is about making people suffer. That's his thing, making people suffer because he's miserable. Like the term misery loves company. A miserable person always wants to bring misery, and they want to bring it to you. So that's what Esau was doing, because he knows that he has a short time. So therefore, he wants to bring hell on earth. Okay, he wants everybody's lives to be disrupted and in disarray, because he's not going to get it. He's not going to make it. You know, and it's going to be pretty bad out here, man. But hey, through the spirit, we're going to prevail. Verse 12, it says, the night is far spent and the day is at hand. So let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Okay, so hey, this is the reason why we're doing these shows. This is the reason why we dealing in the spirit. It's the reason why we deal with brothers, etc. All right. So this is the book of Mark 13, and I'm going to start at verses. This whole chapter is really good. But anyway, Mark 13 and 4, it says, and tell us, when shall these things be? And what should be the sign when all these things should be fulfilled? And Yahweh Shai answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of men, a lot of deceptors out here that's going to come in a name claiming they're this messianic type figures, mainly those of Israel. Okay, and we know a few of them right now. We got a guy that's basically taking a mantle of Comfy. We call him the Discomforter, affectionately known as Comfy. He's passed away to the spirit realm allegedly, but you got this guy Yohana that's pretty much like the new God sent Discomforter. Then you got these men, the Sakari sect, all these niggas that's acting like they're above the Most High and His Son. You know, I won't be surprised if Alizé say sooner or later that he's going to be the covenant or the man that's going to restore all things into Israel. Like, nigga, please. And in a roundabout way, he can really say he said that because when he tried to do away with the whole sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, saying that we need a high priest, which Yahweh Shai is the high priest. Basically, in order to atone, we got to keep the whole law. Okay, and you put 2 and 2 together, and niggas basically saying, you know, and I'm not bearing false witness, but if you read a nigga, you would kind of know. And the mindset, he's coming in the form of a messianic type figure because he claimed himself to be chief high priest, and he's pushing that shit. Okay, and what did the chief high priest do? They had to go and atone for the nation of Israel within the holies of the holies. And even the chief high priest had to atone for the other high priests, man. Because it was only a few men that was able, and you had to be of the line of Aaron. And he said he was of the line of Aaron, which I think that's a goddamn lie. Because he's not a righteous bone in your body, my man. But if you really pay attention, he's really saying he's like a Messiah type figure without saying it. He just ain't gonna come out and say it because his congregation will stone his ass. But in many ways, in his mindset, he's basically saying he's the way, the truth, and the light. That's what the nigga is really saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could take it how you want to take it. He ain't got to come out and say that per se, but in the spirit, that's what he's alluding to. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Fuck it. Have at it. But anyway, it says, for many should come in my name saying, I am the anointed, and should deceive many. And this guy's deceived his whole damn congregation. Him and that fucking milk dug head nigga, Deacon Hakab, man, which you're not a deacon. All right? You're just a nigga with a bald head that got a lineup and a beard. That's all you are, bro. All right? You's a nigga. You know? And it says here, and ye shall hear rumors of wars and wars, but be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end should not be yet, right? Because these are things that we have to undergo to build our faith up to stand in these evil times, because we're coming into the time now that everybody's getting ready to get they just do. You know, you women, you getting ready to be on the chopping block real soon, you know, especially those of you that talk shit to the men of the Lord that's trying to throw us off our square. You're going to be the main ones that's going to be out here begging for your lives in due time, you know, acting like the men of the Lord is your fucking problem. Nah, we ain't your fucking problem. You your own problem. You deal with it, you know. Give them back to the streets. Anyway, it says here, for nation shall rise against nation, which is world war, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be earthquakes in diverse places, and there should be famines and troubles, and these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so these are the beginning of sorrows, as we just read in the scriptures. But I'm gonna end it there. I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a ball.